Hey, Adam Savage here in my cave with another one-day build. And you don't know this, but I've spent the last 2 weeks sort of diving into a really deep and involved build. Like I put 80 hours in a row into a single thing. And today's the first day with that project being completed. And it's time to take care of some loose ends. And one of those loose ends that showed up was a beautiful new tool. Yes, this gorgeous, gorgeous Sailrite LSZ-1 sewing machine with the servo. Yeah, with the monster servo. Okay, so this is upping my sewing machine game to the next level. My old Janome 3000, which was a wonderful workhorse of a machine, I'm not putting it out to pasture, but I am going to move it off site because this is going to end up being the main construction sewing machine. But as you know, when I receive new tools into the shop, they can't just immediately slot right in because they need to be accommodated to slot right in. So the first thing that my table needs, wheels. Yes, wheels. And I'm going to use some locking single pin casters. These guys here. I have a whole bunch that I bought on eBay. So I've got some there. I'm going to install those. I am also going to, as you can see all this pristine space under here, I'm going to put some drawers here. And I was thinking about drawers because I was thinking about the drawers of my old machine and what I learned from them. And one thing I learned is that you can't glue drawer dividers into freezer drawers. There's some kind of plastic that no solvent of mine works on. And they're also a little bit too small. And so I was thinking about making wider drawers so for something like a sewing machine, my shop philosophy is that I want everything to do with this sewing machine to be available on the sewing machine itself. So they included this little drawer here for some little parts and bits and bobs, and that's not nearly enough storage for me. And I've got all this beautiful storage right here. So I was thinking, I'll make some drawers that are like 12 inches square, and maybe I'll make them dividers out of acrylic. So this is more drawer building, right? Sort of like I did with the with my lathe tools over there. And then I remembered that when I was sorting my Legos, I bought all this art bin stuff. Tremendous amounts of it I got in here, and I have some extras. So I'm actually going to use some existing art bins, and I'm going to, for many of them, I'm pulling off the lids. I'm literally just going to use these as trays in a shelf. Yeah, I think this is actually going to be really, really useful here. So I'm going to build. So today's one-day build involves two parts. The first is to make some wheels and basically a long caster base for this. It doesn't raise its height too much, allows me to lock it, and gives me that functionality. Build the second is to include some drawers, and then build the third, and I'm hoping to get this all done today. It's like, this is going to be a speed build, is a cover for this because it's going to store in the shop. As you can see, a fine piece of equipment like this just doesn't want to be sitting out open in the dust. You want to cover it, but also because of the way I stack things in the shop and where this is going to live, I got to make that cover be robust. So I have some ideas about that, but strap yourselves in. It's speed build sewing machine mod. Here we go. All right, so first things first is to actually make some measurements of the base and make some drawings of how I want this to go. Is this the best place for the camera? Maybe I should put the camera over here. Oh, look at that. It's much better. Yeah, see that? Now you can see my whole... great. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out a way to support these out at the edges of my table, the outside edges here, and only raise this thing about an inch off the ground because I want my pedal activation to be pretty much right where it is. Okay, alternately, I could raise this up about that much, and I could lower my foot pedal down. And then I could potentially, I know exactly what I am. Actually, that might be a lot easier to do. Now the question is, see, yeah, that will, if I put the, however, put it directly under there. Okay. It looks like the wheels are going to be a fairly easy solution. So I need to kind of, yeah. So what I'm going to do here is I think I'm going to put the wheel right into the foot there, right underneath. So the center of gravity is right under the large support member. And then this crossbar, which, right. Yeah. This crossbar, I will need to adjust its height, but that should be pretty trivial to do. I've got some nice chunks of wood to do that. All right. So let's see. I need to modify these guys to be able to attach to some flat material, which means they need a much smaller bolt. Whenever I'm working with something like this, where I've got multiples of something, so I've got 4 of these wheels, I grab 5 just in case I lose some parts or some pieces. It allows me some flexibility. Always grab 1 extra. Always grab 1 extra. That's one of my axioms. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I may just slice all these down. That may be the smartest thing for me to do. That's like in half. All right, I'm gonna cut 3 of these in half. Oftentimes when you cut a piece of threaded rod, all you need to do is chamfer the edge on a belt sander, and that'll be enough for you to start the threads again. It's really not that, especially on these bigger threads. I think this is 5/16 18. Could be 3/8, but I don't think so. All right, I want to move this one in. Yeah. This one slightly farther back. All right, buddies. Let's get attached, eh? Yeah. Do you not fit? Oh, you fit some but not others? What the? Why? Why would you make this one bigger than this one? Great. Oh, love it. That is fabulous. All right. Okay. So far, yeah, this feels great. This feels great, except that that pedal's too high off the ground. But this feels really good. So I'm gonna lock it into this position because I like it. I have successfully gotten my sewing machine up on wheels. Two things I need to fix. One is it's racking a little bit just because the stiffness of this stand is not quite as stiff as I'd like it to be. So I'm actually going to add some triangulation here, here to here, here to here, and then here and down there. I want to leave this open because I'm going to put drawers in here that'll go back to the back. I just need some of that space. But I'm going to be adding triangulation using self-tapping sheet metal screws and some hardware store flat bar aluminum. This is 1/16 by 3/4. Yeah. The thing about this is heavy. If you're going to triangulate something to make it square, you better make sure it's square when you start. That's it. One, same height. There's that one and that one. That should take out the racking. Those 3 struts should take out the racking. Maybe instead of going up to down, I go side to side like that, just a little bit. So I go more to the center. Provide a little better of a triangle, not the same triangle as that. Does that matter? It's a little less pretty than this. That looks better. I'm going to go with that. I don't think it makes much of a difference. I'm sure there are some calculations I could do. I'm sure there are calculations I can do. Yeah. Okay. This should take care of the racking quite nicely. Let's chat for a second about self-tapping screws. This is a self-tapping screw. That's a self-tapping screw. And what it means by self-tapping is the screw itself is the drill and the tap and the screw. It's all 3 things at once. This little chisel point you see up here at the top, that is effectively a drill bit. It's kind of modified version of the oldest drill bit there is. And then the threads catch in the sheet metal. And this is really specifically made for sheet metal, not for stuff that's much thicker than that. However, you can run into problems with self-tapping screws. And I'll probably run into a couple of those problems right now, and we can talk about them. So I'm just going to place this one in the center of where I want it to go. Okay, so it's gone through the aluminum, and now I'm going to be driving it through the steel. Okay, it's actually doing really well. That was fantastic. You can't put too much pressure down on these things. You really want to be, the moment you strip the head, the moment you're so boned. So you really want to be as tight as possible, like all the strength you can. Ah, that's fabulous. Same thing up here. All right, so that, I fried the drill bit because it started to wander. I don't think I was putting enough pressure on it. Ow! Ah! Kneeling on sheet metal screws hurts. It hurts. Now, what we do is I think what we do, right, is we measure how much we need this to go from there all the way to the underside of there. Where's my tape measure? 3.5 inches long. Part 2 1/4. Luckily, I found this piece of inch-thick plywood I had. This will work beautifully for what I intend. Hey. Everything's kind of stacking up here. So, 3 1/4 inches long. There we go. Good. This into 4 pieces. It's 12, so I'm going to go. Oh, shit. No, I need it into 2 pieces. 2 pieces only. Great. Let's see. What I need to do is here, it needs to clear that. Right? Okay. 8. Here we go. A woodworking bit has a pilot point right there. Makes for a much more accurate hole when you have specific distances to make and they don't wander at all. I have my holes cut out.
Time to install.
That's how that works. And that clears. Hey, things are working the way I intended. Washer. And washer. I mounted it backwards. Thank you. You probably watched that happening. I didn't. I am slightly. Yes. I got turned around. All right. Yes. Silly boy. There. Attach the linkage rod here. Okay. I think if we tilt this back up, you're going to find this a lot more solid. You know what I need back here? I need a cleat for the cord. I need a cleat for the power cord. That'll be a thing. Oh, wait a second. Okay. So next thing up is the drawers, and they are going to live right in here. I'm really happy with how solid this is. Still still have full operation here. So, the drawers. This is going to be more findings and crap than I'll ever need, but it's all here. It's all in one place. I can put some snaps and some eyelets and some other stuff that's all sitting in the sortimos, and I can get them into here. And maybe some of them won't move, maybe some of them will, but it gives me the space. So that's one way. So this thing, right, that's how I want it to live, right there. Because that doesn't get in my way at all. Even if I have a knee lift for the foot. Yeah, I mean, look, the stakes feel high, but they're not as high as I feel like they are. They feel high because I want to get this right. I want this to work for me. The fact is if it doesn't work perfectly, then I'll modify it and adjust it and rebuild the shelves if I have to. You know. Just think this all the way through. I really like the idea of using the drawers as they are. Come on out. Stuff, right? There's tools, there's bobbins, there's extra feet, there's oil, there's needles, T-pins, zippers, snaps, measuring implements. All right. 2 and 2. 2 and 2. I think the drawers are done. Here, let me. There we go. Okay, so Let me introduce you to the drawer system. First up, we have off to the side, we have this, which is deep storage for like the extra motor and some of the bigger mechanical parts. And then up here, we've got some special findings, more common findings, stuff I use every day, and the stuff I use every day. Look at that. See that? That is right there. It's just really, really. Rest it on its resting spot. And that guy comes down. And, all right, we'll start plugging it in and just see how it feels. Right. Main switch is there. My sewing machine is now vastly more able to manage the things that I needed to do. I've got a good work life. I've got a good table surface. All right, I gotta tighten that guy up. Oh, gotta tighten him up on both sides. All right. Okay. A little bit of tightening here and there. I think it's time to put the findings from my old machine into the new machine, and that'll be exciting. My sewing machine is doing great. It's got drawers. It's got wheels. It's got a light. It's great. All of my old stuff is in it. It's ready to go, except in order for it to store here in the shop, it needs a cover. It needs not to be gathering dust. So the first thing I'm going to make with my brand new sewing machine is a cover for my brand new sewing machine. And I have some awesome material here. I have this big bolt of waxed canvas that I purchased for my shop apron. And it's really fun to work with. It is easy to sew, and that's what I'm about to do. Yep. Well, there we go. Ladies and yes. We have achieved what we set out to achieve. We have successfully made a cover for my new sewing machine. And we're about to put that cover on and put it away. Yeah, so turning out the light, unplugging it, leaving it complete. Pulling this out, laying that down, moving that over. That's about it. And then we take this business. Oh, look, I know that this cover ain't pretty, but to me, it's beautiful. Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, that needs a little help there, but yeah, that was a whole bad seam. Here, I'm going to show you the pretty side. Look, really what I was trying to do was get to know my sewing machine. And now I do. So, I'm going to put this away. Thank you guys for joining me for this Bros Who Sew one-day build. Can you tell I'm excited? I'm excited. It's time for dinner. See you guys next time. Hey everyone, Adam Savage here in my cave, and we are living through a completely strange moment in time. 6 months ago, the entire world changed. Everyone went into lockdown, and so did Tested. We became a virtual workplace almost overnight, and now I see all my colleagues almost exclusively on video chat. I am shooting only on the phone. I know the sound quality's gotten worse. Norm, Joey, and Gunther are all editing from home. And maybe the biggest change is output. We have radically increased the number of videos that we make because, well, that's what I'm doing all week long here, is just shooting everything on my phone. And eventually, the world will return to normal, but one of the things we want to keep up is the pace of videos that we've been releasing. We've been ecstatic about your feedback about this, and we want to keep it going, but in order to, we need to ask for your direct support. And so I'm here today to announce Tested channel membership. If you're not interested in becoming a member, that's fine. Tested is not going to change for you. You still get all the same great one-day builds, tool tips, the podcast, etc. But if you are willing to join, we've got some pretty cool extras and 2 levels at which to join. For $1.99 a month, we have our supporter level, and for $9.99 a month, our patron level, which includes all the stuff from the supporter level and some live streams, some direct access to me and the Tested team, and some sneak peeks into our entire Tested workflow and process. We are so excited about the new possibilities that channel membership opens up. And we know that many of you have been supporting us all along as Tested Premium members. And to you, I say thank you. Your support has meant everything. And you can keep it going by hitting our brand new join button somewhere on this screen. Thank you guys for watching. And between you and me, I am most excited by the live streams. I really loved doing those earlier this summer, and I can't wait to pick it up again.